Welcome back to Dubsy Bricks for another episode of Building Gotham City in Lego. And this week we're going to be starting off with a mini haul. Went to Dublin and picked up 3 of the power boxes, as you can see, and 4 of the CMFs. Went to both of the Lego stores in Dublin. The pick a brick wall wasn't fantastic, unfortunately. I was hoping to get a lot more filler plates, like 4x4s or 6x8s, anything like that, but unfortunately neither of the stores had it. I did use the QR code finder on the minifigures, so I'm hoping that I've got the goat herder, the barbarian, and 2 of the knight. Fingers crossed that has worked. We'll find out soon enough. But in the pick brick boxes, it wasn't a disastrous trip. As I said, I was hoping for filler plate, as I'm in desperate need of a lot of that, and unfortunately there wasn't a great selection there on that side of things. What I was able to do is pick up a load more of the 2x8 filler plate. So I've got 5 rows there, and there's 57 in each of those. So that's a nice little haul of those there. And then I just filled the box in there with some of the 1x4s and the bricks there. The next 2 boxes, these were for masonry bricks. So again, really pleased to be able to get the masonry bricks. Whenever they're on the wall, I do tend to pick up a box or 2 if I can. There was a couple of us there stacking like crazy, and we've got a whole box of the white ones, filled in a couple of the gaps there with some filler plate, and I've got the majority of this box is in the dark nougat. So yeah, really pleased that we managed to get that. But anyway, let's open the minifigures and see if we got what we were hoping for. So the first one, according to the QR coder on Brick Search, is supposed to be the goat herder. So moment of truth, was it correct? And it was, so it's nice to know that so far the app has proved to be correct. The second CMF, now this is supposed to be the Vampire Knight, and this is one that I'm pretty keen to get a few of, as it would be nice to do a mock at some stage of a fancy castle. And I do quite like the helmets on here and a few of the other elements that you get with this, so fingers crossed this is again the correct one. And let's have a look. And sure enough, again, 2 for 2. And I am loving this new technique of scanning the QR codes so you don't get any duplicates on there. And again, some really nice print pieces on here. The arms look amazing, so even if I didn't keep the knight, I think I might just change the torso, get rid of the red on there. But yeah, it's looking really good. And there we have the first Vampire Knight. Not a massive fan of the cape, feels a little bit too papery for my liking, but the actual elements you get with this figure look so cool. Third figure, this should be another Vampire Knight, so fingers crossed the QR coder is still correct. I have read that people have had a couple of problems with it, but so far 3 for 3, so yeah, I'm really liking how this is coming out. And there's our second Vampire Knight, and this should be the Barbarian. And there it is. So yeah, really pleased those 3 minifigures. The print details are amazing. As I mentioned, I'm really looking forward to doing a mock one day using the Vampire Knight. So we'll be keeping an eye out every time I go shopping, see if I can get some more of these, and then just mix up a few of the details on there and see what army we can create with them. Barbarian, another awesome looking minifigure. And of course, we've got the good old goat herder at the back there. The Lego City is looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. It's become a little bit of a dumping ground once again, and it's purely due to the lack of room that I have within the Lego room here. As you can see, it's not a massive space. I've got the Mandalore build going on just here at the moment, so very often when I'm working, I've got all of the pieces on the floor here, and it's very easy for me to turn around and just put stuff behind me. So I'm looking forward to getting a better layout in the new Lego room. Now, we are moving house, hopefully in the next month or 2. So I have got to start thinking about packing up this Lego City, and it's one thing I am dreading doing. Now, I have made it so that it does come apart. Even the raised section there, it comes apart quite easily, or at least I'm hoping it is. And I'm really praying that I've managed to get this to the destination in as few pieces as possible, and it goes all back together nicely. Now, I do want to carry on building, even though I am going to be packing the city up. So I'm going to be picking projects which I can carry on building within this city, so that when we get to the new house, I can just put it all together, and then there'll be these buildings all ready to go. There are buildings such as the GCPD that I can carry on building on. I can carry on building on the Flatiron building just here. The fire station is the one I'm going to be concentrating on first of all, though. I have mentioned a couple of times, I want to shrink this to a 32 stud deep building. Now the plan is, down on this section just here, and also at the back there, they are two blocks of 4 base plates, 2x2. And what I'm planning on doing is having it so that the fire engine is on one side of it, and then there'll be an alleyway going through where the fire engines can drive through and then get to the rear of the fire station. Now, in order to do that, I need to make sure that there's a cutaway between 2 buildings on this side. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using that building on one side of it. I'm going to shrink the width of it. So it'll probably be a case of just losing that doorway there and then building another building at the side, which will be a narrower building as well. And then hopefully that'll work perfectly. Now, I haven't decided whether I carry on just building up the same width as this section here and the same on that one. It's the same width of the building that's going to be going there, or whether or not I do a building that bridges across the 2 of them. So it's more like a tunnel that leads through to the fire station. And here we have the Mills plate all ready for the fire station. Fire station is going to be down that far end there, and there'll be another building in the corner. This section just here is going to be a snot road, and that's going to enable the fire engines to drive straight into the back of the fire station, ready to be called out again. On this side here, I'm going to be putting the medium nougat building that I built previously, so that fits absolutely perfectly on here. As you can see, the brick wall here is just about right with where the road is going to start. Now this section here, all I need to do is peel it off of the base plates and then reposition it onto the Mills plate that I've got there. One thing I am going to be looking to do though, as a couple of people suggested, I do need to make this section here just a little bit higher. So I will be amending that by about 2 bricks, I think. And then I'll just place the rest of the floors on there as they were previously. Over on this side, there'll be another building. Not sure what that one's going to be just yet. In between this building and the fire station, there will be an alleyway, which you can just, minifigures be able to walk down. And there'll be some garbage bins down there and things like that. But it won't be wide enough for vehicles to fit down. Probably about 5 or 6 studs in width. And that's stage 1 all complete. So I've moved over the bar or restaurant, whether this turns out to be, over onto the new Mills plate. Now that I've done that, I'm going to put the footprint out for the fire station out the back there. As mentioned previously, I am changing the layout and design of the fire station quite a bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off by putting the floors down how I think it's going to be brick-wise, shape-wise, sorry. And once I know it's all going to fit properly, I'll then start building the walls up. And here we have the start of the fire station. And what I've been doing, I've been ripping the pieces off of the old one up here and then just bringing them down and building it in the new style. Now, I did say a couple of weeks ago that it was based off of this image that you'll see on the screen here now, which I believe was from one of the Gotham games. I then drew this out just to give me an idea of the dimensions. You can see the 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8 on there, and that's just how many studs wide each section was going to be. However, I am amending it slightly on the right-hand side there where the door will be. Now on here, I'm going to be putting a 2x6 tile and the same here. And then there'll be a 2x2 and a 2x2 there and on the sides there. And I just want it to stick out a little bit as that's how it looks to me in the picture. Now around the arches, I was going to put some tiles coming out on here. However, it didn't look right when I tried using some snot bricks and getting that done. So I decided to scrap that idea. Anyway, let's carry on building and I'll check back in once I made a little bit more progress. And just checking in with a quick update of how it's coming on. And that's the ground floor pretty much done brickwork wise. Still need to put a couple of support beams going across the centre to help take the weight of the floor above. And still need to tile the floor. So next up, let's get the tiles out, get the floor tiled, and then I'll put those support beams across. And a little bit more progress on the front of the fire station here. As you can see, I've tiled over all of the snot bricks and started on the brick effect on the corners here. Now one thing I am doing is sliding the 2x1 so it goes over, so there's no gap between the two where they join like I've got here. The jumper plates are on here. I'm going to have some lamps hanging off of these, but I do need to find some more 1x1 of the dark bluish grey tiles. The inside is now completely tiled as well, which is the first time the fire station's been in that state. I put the roads in the previous one, but I hadn't done anything with the sides on there. But now, as you can see, it's all got the light bluish grey. There are the helmet racks on the side there, and I've put a 1x6 plate down here, and there's going to be a few more details, which I will add to that a little bit further on down the line. But that's pretty much all that I need to do on that ground floor. Now I can start working on the next floor up. Next up, I'm going to be working on the first floor, and it's going to look different to the existing one here. It's going to be 3 studs narrower to start with and 18 studs shallower going back there. Also, it's more of an L shape than a rectangle. And I don't want to keep the same look with the windows on the front here. Now, I probably will stick with the dark red bricks on there. However, if I do change my mind, these are just tiles. So behind all of these are the light bluish grey. So I'm going to be building it all up using light bluish grey. And if I don't like the look of this on the new building, then I can quite easily change it at a later stage. But I think the dark red does look really good on the fire station. So first thing we need to do, get the plates out, get the floor layout correct, and then I can start building the walls up. And here is the base for the first floor. Hole here, that's for the fireman's pole. This one's for the stairs. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the outline for all of the rooms on here, and then I'm going to tile the floor first of all. That's the one mistake I made last time I did the fire station. It was really awkward getting my fingers into all the little gaps. So this time I'm going to make sure I do it the easy way. It's taken quite a while, but I think I've finally come up with a layout for this first floor where I've got everything in here that I wanted to do. So the back here, we're going to have the shower room and the toilet. This is the stairs. The stairs are going to come up here, go around here. There'll be another flight of stairs that will lead up to the roof. A couple of sofas for people to relax on. This section here will be the main office for the chief of the fire station. And at the back there is just the bedroom area, or where the bunks are. It's only going to be the one bunk set there this time as opposed to the two, due to how much space I've lost here. And at the back here, we've got the kitchen area and then the dining room. And obviously the fireman's pole goes in the middle there. And that's the floor all tiled off and everything fixed in place. And here is the first attempt at the top half of the fire station. And I've decided to scrap the drawing that I had and work off of the images I found online of the Gotham fire station. And I'm going to try and merge it with my own spin on there. So this bottom half here is very much what I saw in the picture, and I was really happy with that. However, I would really like to reintegrate the bit where you've got the helmet with the 2 axes either side of it. Now, whether or not I just do one in the centre here, or whether I'm able to put one either side above the arches, I'm not sure yet. They do take 6 studs up in width, so it is quite a big thing, and I don't really think I'm going to have enough room to squeeze it in there. So just going to have a little bit of an experiment with there. But one thing I probably will do is raise these arches up by at least 1 brick, possibly 2. And here we have the revised front of the fire station. So I've managed to get one of the helmet pieces into the brickwork there with the axes at either side of it. And I feel it breaks up really nicely on there, so really happy with how that's come across. I think if I had tried to put them above the arches, this section here would have been too tall and it just wouldn't have looked right. And here is the new roof section. So I just need to put one more row of plates all over this to cover up the filler plate on here. The filler plate is just to help keep it all together. Over on this far side here, we've got the section which is how you would get up to the roof. And at the front here, I've made this stick out by one stud, and that's going to be for the 1901 sign. So I'm going to try and keep as much of the design and style of the previous roof into this new build. And here is the fire station on the table, all in place. This is the area of the city where it is actually going to be. However, I have decided that I don't like where this building actually is on the mills plate. And I think it needs to go across by about 4 studs. At the moment, I have 15 studs this side, 8 that side. And I want to put a building either side of the fire station. The entrance to the buildings will be on the sides here and here. And I just think it'd look better to have an 11 stud or a 12 stud building this side as opposed to 8. It's just going to be that little bit too narrow. Now, due to the fact this is on a mills plate, it's going to make it quite easy to do. It's very easy for me to split it off at the back there due to how I've built this. I'll then flip it upside down, and then I'll just move the actual base plate along and then reattach some plates on the top there. So that's going to be quite an easy process to do. The rear of the building, the alleyway is dead centre to the rear entrance to the fire station. However, I could move it over by 3 studs, and the wall over there will just line up perfectly with this wall here. So again, it will still work by moving it over by those 3 studs. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flip this upside down, move that over, and then we'll see how it looks. And there it is, all moved over really easily. There was only a couple of bricks that broke off, so it was a nice straightforward process. And that is the one advantage with building on mills plates. If you do decide you want to move a building across, it is really easy to do so. It's another good reason for using 4x4 bricks as opposed to 16x16s. Had I used 16 ones, then it would have been really difficult to move it because I'd have had to move all the tiles inside. What I'll be concentrating on next week are the buildings that are going to be going either side. And I think we're going to have a cafe on this corner, and then there'll be apartments up above and some sort of shops on the other side. Still will decide what building is going to be going down in that corner there. But hopefully I'll find some more black plate out this week to know me to do the roof section. Now I am going to start boxing up the Lego city. So it's going to be dismantled into its sections, put in boxes. And one other thing I need to do is get rid of all of the Lego sets that are on the shelf. So I need to dismantle pretty much all of them, bag them up, and then it's going to make it that little bit easier to move them over. If I box them up as it is, it's just going to take up way too much room in the removal van. The only one that will not be broken down is the slave one, and that's due to the dark reddish bricks, how fragile they can be. So it's going to be a busy week this week. Don't know how much building I'm actually going to get done, and I may have to scrap Mandalore for this week, which would be a shame, but need to prioritise things with the move coming up. And that's the Lego city pretty much packed up. As you can see, there was a little bit of destruction here and there, bricks all over the place, and for the best part it did come apart as I was hoping it would do. The raised platform area, there were a little bit of breakages here and there on that, but nothing that can't be rectified when I get to the new Lego room. It was mainly the section that goes across the front there. As you can see, there are a few bits that have been left out. Arkham Asylum, that will fit in a box. The island itself, I need to find some bigger boxes to put those two sections in because they're a little bit too large for the boxes I have at the moment. Now, these two buildings here, the Flatiron-esque and the one we've been working on this week, these are projects I'm going to carry on working over the coming weeks. So I want to continue to put content out whilst I'm doing the house move, and I thought these were two ideal projects to be working on. With this one, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the two buildings either side of the fire station, and I've also got to build a building here, and I've also got to finish this building as well, so there's still a lot of work to be done on that. So that's going to take a good few weeks just to get that all looking all completed. But the Flatiron-esque building, this is one that I'm really excited about doing. And a couple of weeks ago I mentioned when I did the raised train line that I was going to have a platform along here, and I'm considering having a platform and train station built into the build here, and it's going to be below the actual Flatiron-esque building. So it's going to be multi-layered or multi-leveled as the raised platform area itself is. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And what I'll probably do is move the car park entrance from the end there into the centre, and then have steps going up either side of the entrance to that. And then that will lead you to the train station. But I'll also have steps and lifts and whatever else going up so people can get to the Flatiron-esque building there, which is also going to lead round to the other building that I'll be building at the back here, which is also going to be a tall building. And the tall building that's at the back is one that's going to have the train station on there for the train line that leads to Wayne Tower. So there's plenty of planning to go ahead with that, and there's loads of projects I can be carrying on with here while smooth's going on. So I will still be able to put the weekly content out, fingers crossed. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. Hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. If you know anybody else that you think will be interested in building Gotham or building Mandalore, please share the channel with them. Anyway, thanks for popping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.